Here are the most recent deaths in the national news as reported at Legacy.com in the second week of June 2025. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any local community in America and beyond. Musician and songwriter Sly Stone died June 9, 2025 in Los Angeles. He died after a long battle with COPD at the age of 82. He was the frontman for Sly and the Family Stone, known for hits like Everyday People, Sing a Simple Song, and Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again. Stone is being remembered as one of the innovators of funk, whose joyful music had a profound influence on generations of musicians. Musician and songwriter Brian Wilson died June 11, 2025 at the age of 82. He was the frontman for the iconic California rock and roll band The Beach Boys, harmonizing alongside his family members and friends on timeless pop tunes. Wilson is being remembered for writing and co-writing such classic songs as God Only Knows, Don't Worry Baby, and California Girls. Musician Wayne Lewis died June 5, 2025 at the age of 68. He was a co-founder of the R&B group Atlantic Starr, singing and playing keyboards with his brothers and other bandmates. Lewis is being remembered for co-writing the band's #1 hit Always, as well as other popular tracks like Circles and Secret Lovers. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Actor Enzo Staiola died June 4, 2025, in Italy at the age of 85. He was the child star of the 1948 Italian film Bicycle Thieves, also known in the U.S. as The Bicycle Thief. Staiola is being remembered for his expressive performance in the film, which was especially impressive since he had never acted before he got the role. Actress Pippa Scott died May 22, 2025, at her home in Santa Monica, California. She died of congenital heart failure at the age of 90. She was known for movie roles in The Searchers and Auntie Mame. Scott is also being remembered for roles in such TV shows as The Twilight Zone, The Virginian, and Columbo. Football player Tom Rafferty died June 5, 2025 in Windsor, Colorado. He died after a stroke at the age of 70. He was a defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys in the 1970s and 80s after a standout college career at Penn State University. Rafferty is being remembered for winning Super Bowl XII with the team in his rookie year. Computer engineer Bill Atkinson died June 5, 2025 at his home in Portola Valley, California. He died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 74. He was a pioneer in the development of Apple's Macintosh computers, creating the user-friendly interfaces that made it easy for anybody to work on a home computer. Atkinson is being remembered for developing Mac Paint, an early graphics program that encouraged artistic creativity on computers. Writer Frederick Forsyth died June 9, 2025 in Jordans, Buckinghamshire, England. He died after a brief illness at the age of 86. He wrote best-selling thrillers like The Day of the Jackal, The Odessa File, and The Fourth Protocol. He is being remembered for the meticulous research he did, which made his stories feel real. Forsyth was a Royal Air Force veteran who served as a pilot officer. TV host Juliette Powell died June 3, 2025 in New York. She died of acute bacterial meningitis at the age of 54. She was a VJ on Canada's MuchMusic channel and hosted the dance music show Electric Circus. Powell is also being remembered for being crowned Miss Canada in 1989, the first black woman to win the honor. Meteorologist Gary England died June 10, 2025, at the age of 85. He forecast the weather in Oklahoma for decades, and he helped create the first warning and storm tracker systems for alerting viewers to severe weather. England is being remembered as the first meteorologist to use Doppler radar on the air to warn viewers of an approaching tornado. NASCAR owner Travis Carter died June 10, 2025, after a short stay in hospice at the age of 75. He got his start in the pit, notably as crew chief for Benny Parsons' team for their 1973 NASCAR championship and 1975 Daytona 500 victory. Carter is being remembered for founding Travis Carter Enterprises and locking down 6 pole positions with his team. Actor Chris Robinson died June 9, 2025, on his ranch near Sedona, Arizona. He died in his sleep at the age of 86. He played Dr. Rick Weber on General Hospital in the 1970s and 80s, and while he was in the role, he delivered a memorable tagline in a commercial for cough syrup, "I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV." Robinson is also being remembered for his soap opera roles on Another World and The Bold and the Beautiful. Actor Harris Yulin died June 10, 2025, in New York City. He died of cardiac arrest at the age of 87. He was a prolific character actor for more than 50 years, appearing in such movies as Scarface, Clear and Present Danger, and Training Day. Yulin is also being remembered for roles on many TV shows, including Frasier, 24, Ozark, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. TV host Ananda Lewis died June 11, 2025, at her home in Los Angeles. She died after fighting breast cancer at the age of 52. She was an MTV VJ in the 1990s and 2000s, hosting MTV Live, Total Request Live, and Hot Zone. Lewis is also being remembered for hosting BET's Teen Summit and her own talk show, The Ananda Lewis Show. More than 200 people died on June 12, 2025, when an Air India plane crashed en route from Ahmedabad, India to London. This is a developing story, and not all details are clear as of this recording. There are still a few more celebrity tributes, but first let me just say that some of the most remarkable obituaries we saw this week at Legacy weren't for celebrities, but for everyday people like you and me. Those include the 99-year-old former host of a popular local TV cooking show in the outskirts of Chicago, a world champion domino player whose photo hangs in the Texas Domino Hall of Fame, an environmental biologist from Maryland who served as an expert for the Marines, the Air Force, and numerous federal departments, and a Connecticut teacher admired over the course of his career, not just as one of his state's greatest school superintendents, but as America's Coach of the Year in 1990. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 10 years ago this week, musician Ornette Coleman died at the age of 85. He was a jazz saxophonist, trumpeter, and violinist who pioneered the free jazz style. 15 years ago this week, singer, actor, and businessman Jimmy Dean died at the age of 81. After country music fame with hits like Big Bad John and acting in movies and TV shows like Diamonds Are Forever and Daniel Boone, he founded the Jimmy Dean Sausage Company and served as its spokesman. 21 years ago this week, musician and songwriter Ray Charles died at the age of 73. As a singer and pianist, his many hits included Georgia on My Mind and Hit the Road Jack. 22 years ago this week, actor Gregory Peck died at the age of 87. He won an Academy Award for his performance as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, and he was nominated 4 additional times. First Lady Barbara Bush was born 100 years ago this week. She died in April 2018 at the age of 92. The wife of President George H.W. Bush and the mother of President George W. Bush, she focused on promoting literacy and advocating for those with AIDS. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Massachusetts have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Loring E. Lord, who was killed in action while serving in Germany in World War II. His remains were recently identified and returned home for burial. Flags in Maryland have been lowered to honor the memory of emergency vehicle driver Charles Mudra of the Baltimore City Fire Department, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of former Oneida Nation Chairman Gerald L. Jerry Danforth. Flags in Wisconsin have also been lowered to honor the memory of former Major General Jerome Jerry Berard of the Wisconsin National Guard. Flags in Minnesota have been lowered to honor the memory of Amboy Fire Department firefighter Andrew Carrolls, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Arizona have been lowered to honor the memory of Officer Gabriel Facio of the Apache Junction Police Department, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Missouri have been lowered to honor the memory of Bernie Police Department Lieutenant Eddie Mays. Flags in West Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of former delegate Doug Scaff. Flags in Florida have been lowered to honor the memory of the 49 people killed in the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.